bump, bump, ba-dum, bump, bump. Oh, we're back! Welcome to a Friday edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. The gang's almost all here. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman, Jeff Spiegel joining us. Parker still has, I guess, some responsibilities, but he should be back in the fold starting Monday.
Yeah.
So we all got a day off from this. How are we? Are we recovered? Are we ready? Because it's a big weekend, fellas. How are we feeling?
This is a huge weekend. And Jeff, my favorite thing now on Fridays is Jeff has slowly started to do the bendy with us.
Yeah.
It's like it's there now. So I'm very impressed by it. So thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, take 2 out of 3 from the Padres. I'm in a good mood. Off day yesterday, so we're ready to try some new things.
Yeah. First, before we get into what should be a big weekend, and we'll look back at the Padres series as well, since we weren't here yesterday. Do want to give a shout out to the folks at LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time, and looking forward to the People Mover train, which should be up and running hopefully early next year. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforming LAX. All right. As Jeff mentioned, the Dodgers do take 2 out of 3 from the Padres. It was always going to be a tense series. The first game, a 1-run affair in extra innings. Game 2, we can just gloss over that. We don't need to talk about game 2 of that series. But game 3, Jeff, the offense comes to life a little bit. And 2 guys who really had been scuffling. I mean, Michael Conforto, it's been a season-long scuffle. Teo Hernandez has not been the same since he came back from injury. But it was nice to see those 2 guys sort of wake up in a big spot the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tuesday night was such a dud that you felt like Wednesday, from the outside, from a fan perspective, there was added pressure. So to see those guys come out, Teoscar with the huge home run after kind of being the guy on offensively that let them down on Tuesday night was good for him. Obviously, Conforto gets the home run as well. I know Greg wants to talk a little bit about that, so I'll give him some space here in a second. But, just great to get the series win, get 2 out of 3, and remain in first place in the division.
Yeah, it was the Conforto piece of it this is Jeff's favorite joke. It's like in our group chat, no matter what, anytime Conforto does absolutely anything, even if he walks, he's like, "Oh, Conforto on base percentage machine."
It's a great walk.
It's really trying to annoy me, which it doesn't. It's actually very funny, but it's a bit, and I like the bits. But yeah, Teo to me he was getting close. He also said after the game that he hit the home run that his swing is still not right. So he's still not completely back, but he had a couple shots at it. I think it was either earlier in the game that was right up against the wall. And he said a few that were right up against the wall, but he just couldn't get them over. And that one did go over. So it was great to see Teo get something. Did you see Kike? Did you guys see Kike, what he did? He threw with all of his might.
Firing sunflower seeds.
It's like he's in anger in his face. Threw it at him. It was great.
I do enjoy watching Kike Hernandez do his thing, but he also seems like a guy who can be a little bit extra sometimes. Like, hey man, it's okay to take it down a notch every once in a while if you're Kike Hernandez. But Dodgers do get out of there with a 5-2 win to take 2 out of 3 in the series and got some solid pitching performances. Yeah, I think we just throw out the 11-1 game because it was kind of a bullpen game. Things went bad kind of early in that one. It sort of got away. But what I saw on Wednesday, I mean, Ben Kasparius comes out, really has a decent 3 innings, gives up just the 1 run. And then you get the 1 unearned run off of Jack Dreyer. But, I mean, Jeff, for as much as we worried about this bullpen, it does seem like the last week or 2, they figured some things out. This bullpen really has started to come together, it looks like.
Yeah, getting Kirby Yates, Michael Kopech back, even though Kopech hasn't really been amazing, I think just gives you some names out there that you feel better about when they come through the doors rather than, whichever guys we've DFA'd in the last couple of weeks. But I do want to say real quick, because we can gloss over Tuesday night's game, but it is worth just mentioning the way they handled Tuesday night is why they were able to win on Wednesday night. Basically, once the 5th inning had come and gone, the Dodgers didn't score in the top of the 6th on Tuesday. They had a decision to make whether to throw Matt Sauer back out there, which was a punt, or to go to the bullpen. They decided to go to Sauer. That freed them up. Alex Vesia shut the door on Wednesday with a perfect inning and 3 strikeouts. Had he pitched Tuesday, he would not have been available. Anthony Bonda got them out of the bases loaded jam because Manny Machado decided to swing at a 3-0 pitch with the bases loaded. Bonda, had he pitched on Tuesday, would not have been available. So I do think it's worth just pointing out the strategy that they executed on Tuesday, which was not popular in real time, was actually heavily contributing towards the win on Wednesday.
So it wasn't popularly say, but like I think most people really understood what they were doing. The fact that Matt Sauer pitched 111 pitches and just let him stay out there when give up runs. Yes, they punted that game, and it was very much so that. And people get upset like you can't punt games in any games, especially against the Padres. But yeah, to your point, that's exactly what it lets you win that game on Wednesday. Yeah. So I love the fact that they did that. It's you threw 3 pitchers and one of them was Kike Hernandez in the second. It was exactly what you wanted from that. It just we've talked all year long about how the bullpen is so overused. They're the most overused bullpen in baseball. And Dave decides to rest that bullpen.
Yeah.
Was great. I think we should all be happy about that.
Well, I put in the text chain, and I was only half joking that Dave Roberts managed that game like it was Game 5 of the NLCS, right? I mean, that was the Brent Honeywell game, right, where Jack Flaherty gets lit up early, and instead of trying to scramble and seeing if if the bullpen can hold the Mets and the Dodgers can come back, Dave Roberts just turned to Brent Honeywell and said, you're going to take us as far as you can go in the rest of this ball game. And we're not worried about how many runs you give up. We just need you to get outs. And that was sort of how he handled it on Tuesday night. To your point, Jeff, I mean, it was, they were down big. They didn't score in the 6th. They're like, well, let's just look forward to what's coming up. Because not just the rest of that Padres series, but knowing, even though you had a day off, that the Giants were coming to town for a big series over the weekend. And the way that team has pitched, knowing that you're going to need some arms to sort of match up with them for 3 games as well. So I know I get it. People don't want to lose games. They especially don't want to lose games to the Padres, and they don't want to get blown out by the Padres. But I do appreciate Dave Roberts sort of looking bigger picture at what is to come with this team still hanging on. Somehow still hanging on to a 1-game lead in the division. Thank you, Rockies, for rallying on Thursday night.
That's usually what the Giants do. They did it earlier in the week. It's over and over again. They're winning in the 9th inning, which is frustrating.
I don't judge me for this, but on Wednesday I did turn on Giants Rockies. The Dodgers had already won earlier in the day. I just was looking for something to watch. I'm like, oh hey, look, the Rockies have a lead in the 8th inning. I turned it on. It was 6-3. Within moments, it was 7-6 Giants. So
it was your fault. Is what we're saying.
No, it's the Rockies. They've won 13 whole games all year. I'm gonna say
I'll give you that.
I'm gonna say it's the Rockies' fault on that one.
I'll give you that.
Couple of things before we get into the Giants series. One, off the field. Mookie Betts has a bowling league. Jeff, I'm hearing from your folks that this means Mookie does not care about baseball anymore.
There's a segment of the people out there that no matter what this guy does, no matter how hard he works, no matter what he navigates through to contribute on the baseball field, that the second that Mookie Betts has something in his life that is off the field, it is a reflection of how little he cares. And so I just laughed when you asked about this before the show. I was like, okay, well, I'm sure I'll get a text message saying maybe Mookie Betts doesn't care enough about baseball. And if only he cared enough, then ... So, I mean, who cares? This is the ultimate, knock yourself out, Mookie. Whatever you need to do, you've earned the right to do it. And we do need to talk about the name. I'm unimpressed by the name of his team.
Yeah.
Team OMG, I believe is what I was told. We need to do better than that, Mookie. Right. But other than that, a big who cares from me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Does he sit there with his buddies go, oh, this is the greatest name that we've ever come up with? Team OMG.
Team OMG. Just put the hands behind the head. Just lean back. Your work is done.
Team OMG.
Your work is done for the day. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Mookie Betts has invested in what is the World Bowling League. He owns a franchise called Team OMG. The WBL is supposed to start next year. And it really is a world bowling league. There are teams in Japan, South Korea, Singapore, India. I would assume there's a team in the United States. I'm just guessing here.
Team OMG, maybe.
Team OMG, perhaps, could be. I mean, of course, Mookie is an excellent bowler. But to your point, Greg, we all know people are hopefully being facetious, but he really has. He's made himself into a really good shortstop.
No.
However, but above average shortstop, it feels like he's making big plays routinely over there at shortstop now.
He made a play just on Wednesday that was like, oh wow, that was a pick. That was a dive and pick. And I mean, the ball bounced, but that's kind of what you're supposed to do in those situations. Have it bounce up to Freddie Freeman. A little bit off sometimes, but still, he is really proven that he can play the shortstop position, and he's very much an above average shortstop at this point. And moving from right field, you move to the outfield when you want to later in your career. You don't move down. You don't move into the infield. So it really is impressive how he's turned himself around. If that's been something, Jeff, that messed with his swing earlier in the season, I don't think so. But he just goes through those kind of slumps sometimes. He's back to who he is now, or is on the way to that.
Yeah, I joked before this season that one of my hot takes, I mean, people love talking about my bold predictions that suck. Nobody likes talking about my bold predictions that pan out. I said Mookie Betts was going to be a Gold Glove finalist at shortstop. Now, I prefaced it by saying, who cares about the Gold Glove, and name recognition alone is probably going to put him there. But, I mean, would anybody be surprised if at the end of the season he's in the finalists for Gold Glove at shortstop? The answer is no. Like, he's actually been really impressive, to the point that even the biggest detractors that I know of to him playing shortstop have said Mookie Betts playing shortstop is actually the best thing for the Dodgers right now. Like, don't move Tommy Edman there. Don't move Ha-Seong Kim there. Leave Mookie at shortstop. And so that in and of itself, I think, goes to show how impressive he's been.
Yeah. When you talk about Gold Glove, sorry, Marcus. If we talk about Gold Glove, I saw something the other day. It was probably a Yankee fan. It might have been the Jared Carrabis podcast or something. But they're talking about how Derek Jeter was not a good shortstop. He's a 4-time Gold Glover, but they basically was off of name recognition, and that always A-Rod was always the better shortstop playing third base. So to your point, if he gets the Gold Glove this year, it may be on name recognition because they like to do that. But still, yeah, he has been playing very well.
No, we've seen a lot of improvement from Mookie. And I guess it shouldn't be surprising, right? I mean, it's a guy who, when people doubt him, takes things personally and really does go out of his way to try and improve. And we've seen a lot of improvement at shortstop. According to Ruben Flores, and I looked this up myself so I can confirm, Team OMG is because it is one marketing group. That is the group that Mookie is in with his business partner. It's the one marketing group. So the team is Team OMG.
I think I like it less that it's trying to stand for something other than what we all think it is. Like, somehow this is now less compelling to me.
If it was Team Oh my God, I'd be like, okay, that's all right.
It's corny, but like, all right, I get it. But yeah, one marketing group is like, oh.
I've actually lost a little bit more respect for where I don't. Now I'm never.
Greg's taking him out of his Gold Glove finalist now.
Nope,
He's
moved
outside the top 3.
Below average shortstop.
And then I love this post from Bubba Holmberg in the chat saying that Mookie may as well be Anthony Rendon. Like, obviously, he doesn't care about baseball, right? He's doing bowling now.
Yeah.
First it was the podcast, now it's bowling.
I mean,
you can't do extra things.
Him and Anthony Rendon just going to be side by side and sitting somewhere not caring about baseball.
I think about Anthony Rendon and the bullet the Dodgers dodged. I was going to say dodged. I tried to avoid it. Like once a month, I think it pops into my head like, man, we genuinely tried to sign that guy to the contract, and holy smokes, thank goodness we did not.
He didn't like the Hollywood lifestyle. Well, he doesn't like the baseball lifestyle, and so very happy he's not here.
What was the quote? Like, I wouldn't wish baseball on my worst enemy. I think
yes.
That he said.
You're flying on charter flights and staying in 5-star hotels and getting whatever you want and making millions of dollars, but I'll switch. We'll do it right now. This very moment.
He comes sit on the Blue Review with us in the morning.
Oh, he would hate that too.
He would absolutely hate that. All right, let's turn our attention.
One second before you get out of that.
Yes,
Parker just texted us and said the Angels didn't even wish him a happy birthday.
So that whole relationship has just gone bad, you know.
We'll give you money, but no happy birthday wish for you. That's just a comeback.
Here's the thing. I feel like if you're going to put Anthony Rendon with anybody, like Ron Washington might be the worst possible manager to put him with. I mean, like, Wash is not going to – he doesn't play around with things like this. I mean, this guy is a baseball lifer. It's in his blood. And then putting him with a third baseman who doesn't seem to care and doesn't really seem to want to get on the field, that's just a disaster in the making is what that one is, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Three really big games coming up at Dodger Stadium this weekend against the San Francisco Giants. Gentlemen, I was at the happiest place on earth in Anaheim yesterday, not Angel Stadium. And there were a lot of folks wearing black and orange walking around that park yesterday. So I would expect there's going to be a pretty fair amount of black and orange in the stands over the next 3 days. And Jeff, it gets started with a dandy. You got Logan Webb going against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a matchup of guys who are certainly going to be Cy Young contenders in the National League. Yama has been fantastic the last all season long, really. Logan Webb has a history of shutting down the Dodgers. If I said Yama gets 1.5 runs of support, are you going over or under that?
I'm going to say over because, I believe in the Dodgers offense, rest day. They should have their best lineup in there today. But doesn't the Dodgers offense feel like the team that when they play good pitchers that you're expecting to get shut down by, they somehow come up with like 5 innings, 4 earned. And when they play Dylan Cease, who's been absolute trash for like 2 months, they get shut out for 7 innings. Like, I just feel like that's where I'm at with the Dodgers. So give me the over on 1.5 runs scored against Logan Webb for the Dodgers offense. But he's really, really good. And so to your point, Marcus, this is yet another opportunity for Yamamoto to go head-to-head with one of the best pitchers in the National League. It feels like it's the 4th or 5th time we've seen that, and it should be a fun one from the pitching side of things.
I mean, Greg, I was joking the other night that the Dodgers gave Dustin May 6 runs to work with against the Padres, and he couldn't make that stand up, and Yamamoto just had to be nauseous sitting there watching it happen. But the good thing about this, I mean, Yama has been amazing all year long, Greg. This is also a Giants team that, generally speaking, does not score runs. Like, this feels like a opportunity for him to really go out and give this team some length tonight.
Yeah, it does. I really like this matchup for Yamamoto, but Logan Webb is a very, very good pitcher. And I think, but the Dodgers do hit really well against him. So Dodgers that are on this team right now are batting .328 with 400 OPS and 900 OPS. And like Mookie has 15 hits. Freddie has 14 hits. Max has 9. Like they tend to hit Logan Webb, which is kind of nice to know and nice to see. But it's never going to be easy there. The Giants only score in the 9th inning. That's pretty much what we're seeing right now, is that they just put up big runs in the 9th. But I think Yamamoto is kind of, after he had a little bit of a rough start to a few games ago, he has started to pick it up again and looking like he's supposed to looking. And if they can just get him 4 runs, is that too much to ask for? 4 runs.
I mean, based on past history, yes.
Way too much.
It's way too much. I mean, I think, what did I say? He's getting like an average of like 2.5 runs of support when he pitches, and that feels really high too, all things considered.
Especially since they gave him 0 on Saturday. So
yeah. So I'm looking at this, and Logan Webb in his career against the Dodgers, not as great as you would think, at least over the course of his entire career. 4-6 with a 4.1 ERA, 71 strikeouts, 29 walks, so it's a whip of 1.35. Recently, and I haven't pulled up the game logs, but I would suspect recently it's been quite a bit better, but maybe not so great overall. Jeff, will we see Ha-Seong Kim for 3 games in this series?
Yeah, I was just wondering. I thought it was interesting. Dave Roberts was asked about why Ha-Seong Kim stayed in to face Matsui, the left-handed reliever, and then was pulled before Morahone came in. And I thought it was interesting that Dave kind of gave us a straight answer, which was the fear that they have with Ha-Seong Kim against lefties is against velocity. And so if there's a left-handed reliever coming in who throws upper 90s from the fastball perspective, that's where they are trying to avoid having Kim in that game. And so to me, then you can go and look at, okay, who's pitching for the Giants and how do the matchups line up? But my default is going to be that I think we are going to see some Ha-Seong Kim all 3 games. I mean, like even tonight, like, because Conforto against his old team, a couple of nice games in a row, like nobody's going to like to hear this, but if you gave me over and under 2.5, I would take the under just based on track record, not because he doesn't deserve to be in there, but I would say we get 2 Ha-Seong Kim games in this series if I had to guess.
Yeah,
I'm kind of with you. Yeah.
Yeah, fully with you. It is the velocity that they were talking about, and to me, I should throw him out there and let him see the velocity and let's see what happens, because bringing in Kike, who struck out on 4 pitches, is not what you're looking for in that situation. Ha-Seong Kim, you don't know. Maybe he does strike out. Maybe it's 3 pitches. Maybe he swings and misses at everything. But you got to see what he has against it and see if he can get it, and see if he can get a hit, because eventually he's going to be out there as much as possible. And while he's hot, and while I think he's under 400 now. But while he's batting like that, let him go. Let him see what he can do. And if it starts to fade, then you can start playing these other guys. You're going to see Conforto out there, to Jeff's point, but it's really between Tommy and him. Who's actually no? That means that Pajes is not going to play. So yeah. There's just some weird stuff there.
Yeah, it is righties on the mound Friday and Saturday. Kyle Harrison is the lone lefty in the starting rotation the Dodgers projected to face, and he's 66th percentile from a fastball velocity perspective. So, Marcus, for me, the more I think about it, like tonight would be a perfect Ha-Seong Kim game. You're going against one of the best starting pitchers in Major League Baseball. Those are the moments where I want a guy in there who can help me manufacture something. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Kyle Harrison, sorry, I might have said something else, but Kyle Harrison, when it comes to a guy like that, the Dodgers are going to score off of him. But Logan Webb, maybe you get Ha-Seong Kim in there and try and run a little bit.
Although, to your point earlier, the way the Dodgers are going, they'll score off of Webb and not score off of Harrison. Harrison will throw 7 innings of 3-hit baseball or something like that is what's going to happen. Hawaiian Kira points out, too, by the way, this is a big series for the Korean media because you got Ha-Seong going against Jung-Hoo Lee, which, by the way, I just realized as I was looking this up that Jung-Hoo Lee's nickname is Grandson of the Wind, which is amazing.
Grandson of the Wind?
So, because his father was Son of the Wind, because his dad played and was really, really fast, and so he is the grandson of the Wind.
That's a pretty cool nickname.
That's a pretty cool nickname, right? That's kind of amazing. So, but these two guys will be matching up against each other for the first time in Major League Baseball after playing against each other in the KBO for a couple of years as well. So that should be a whole lot of fun. Dodgers come in with a 1-game lead in the division. They are almost completely through what was this death march in the schedule starting in, late May going through the middle of June. Jeff, all things considered, with the way they've had to shuffle the pitching staff, with an offense that kind of scuffled at some points in the middle of this, to still be where they are, 13 games over 500, still with a 1-game lead in the division. I don't think there's much to complain about right now with this group.
Yeah, 7 games left, 3 against the Giants, 4 against the Padres, and then, you can come up for air. But I'm with you. Just think back on how you felt about every element of this team over the last month. The bullpen, we know, has been a mess. The starting pitching, we know, has been a mess. But even offensively, a week ago, we were talking about Teoscar's in a 2 for 32 slump with 1 million strikeouts, and Freddie Freeman was 1 for 16 and felt like his swing was broken. And we're having is Mookie Betts past his prime and is his career over because the power in the OPS. All these conversations were happening during this stretch, and yet they take 2 out of 3 from the Padres. They're in first place in the division. I don't know what more. I know what more we could have asked for, but being realistic, being reasonable, I think I would have been able to accept if they finished this stretch 1 or 2 games out of the divisional lead. I would have said, man, they kept themselves in it. The fact that they're still ahead, and I would predict that over the next 7 games they remain in first place in the division, to me is everything I could ask for.
Yeah, and we had Doug McCain on. I know Marcus was on Wednesday, so I had Doug McCain on from Dodgers Nation, and he was saying that they have the easiest schedule in the second half of the season. So you're going through all this tough stretch right here, and it's still in first place. If you get the easiest schedule down the stretch, they should be able to do exactly what we thought they were going to do and just take this a large lead over anything. Both teams, the Giants and the Padres, are both very good teams. But if you can just keep afloat and stay in first place through this, or even if you're a game or 2 out of first place, after you get it, they should be fine the rest of the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the schedule lightens up. Ideally, you're getting arms back, you're getting guys healthy, and the Dodgers have a much bigger offensive advantage over the Giants and the Padres. certainly on paper the rest of the way. So you get those arms back, you hit the way that you can hit, and things should be okay in the second half of the season for sure. Things should be okay this weekend at Dodger Stadium tonight. Gets going with Webb against Yamamoto. We'll be back with you on Monday to talk about it. I am sure if you stick around here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, it will be Travis and DeMarco talking about it as well, getting you ready for the weekend. Oh, I guess I should pump myself up too. I'll be on Mason and Ireland this afternoon. So come check me out from noon to 3 over on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, or just on 710 if you are more of an old-fashioned type. I'm okay with that. In the meantime,
BK, right? You and BK today?
Yeah. Which, by the way, this is our chance at redemption. So one of my first shows at 710, I did it with Brian Kamenetsky, and the chat told us it was the worst show in the history of the station. So
hey, that's an accomplishment.
Hey, be good or be bad, but be memorable. That's what it is. Anyway, that'll do it for us. Thanks to LAX. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Jeff Spiegel as well. Back with you on Monday, 8:30, 8:55 here on the Blue Review. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday.